Hi, and welcome to A Dragon Sword of Books. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be going over some of my top writer tips. So, the first one is kind of a disclaimer. I don't know. First tip is it's different for everyone. Not every tip is going to work for every writer. Everyone works in very different ways. Like I write very chronologically. It bothers my brain for some reason to write non-chronologically, but I know that works really well for some people. So I think it's a good idea to experiment, but know that not everything's going to work for everyone. My second one is don't worry about the length. This might just be a me problem, but I tend to be like, this story is so short. So don't worry about that. You can edit it, revise it, or some things are just going to be short. So don't worry about that too much. Number 3 is try to write a little bit every day. It doesn't have to be a lot. I did a challenge a while ago where I would try and come up with one writing prompt every single day. It took longer than it was supposed to because it took a while for me to get into the habit of it. But once I did, I could churn out at least one a day, sometimes even more. And it was very creatively stimulating, and it got the creative juices flowing really well, and it was much easier to come up with ideas quickly. So that was very helpful for me. And related to this, number 4 is practice finding inspiration. Like, notice how you find inspiration. I find inspiration often by going outside. There are a lot of things out there that they just, even if you're sitting in the same place, then it's not going to be the same as it is every single time. Like, if you're sitting at your desk, it's probably going to look about the same every day. But if you're sitting on a bench outside, then you can notice a whole bunch of, like, there's more variety. What kind of people are walking past you? Can you see the wildlife? What does this, take special interest in the scenery? There's a lot you can do with going outside. That works really well for me. But there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can find inspiration, and experiment with what works best for you, and that can be very helpful. Number 5, if you're stuck, go on a walk, eat lunch, or just do something else. Going on a walk is a good way to take a break from it. It gets doing exercise actually can help your brain work better. Like, people who exercise in the morning are more productive throughout the day. That is a scientific fact. So going on a walk can really help. Eating lunch, that also could just be me, but I have a tendency to be working on something and then just not stop, and then at 3 in the afternoon remember that I haven't eaten lunch. So take that into account. But the most important thing in this is just go do something else. Let your brain mull it over more subconsciously, and that can really help. Number 6, if you write, you're an author. I use the terms writer and author fairly interchangeably, but I know some people think if I'm not published, I'm not an author, or something like that. No, I'm going by my first writing teacher's rule. If you write, you're an author. Number 7, take things at your own pace and don't stress about getting published. That's a very big thing, and it's super exciting, but you gotta start somewhere. You've got to start with the story, and don't rush it. Take things at your own pace, like I just said. That can help you avoid overthinking things, I think. Number 8, you can edit later. This is not relevant for everyone, but it's definitely relevant to me. I tend to get a little ways in and be like, ugh, plot hole, plot hole, that's not a plot hole, but it still could have been written better. So you gotta write it first, and then you can edit. As my mom will very frequently remind me, you can't edit what doesn't exist. You can't edit a blank page. So write it first, and then come back to it. Number 9, do your research. The level of research will vary depending on what it is you need to research, but it bothers me to no end when I can clearly know more about a topic than the writer does. Now, this thankfully does not happen very often, but sometimes I'll just be like, that's not how that works. Or, that really wouldn't work. You can't learn this thing that faster. I don't even know. But you want to do your research so that doesn't come up. And yeah, it's not ideal. So related is study people, not in a creepy way, of course, but like pay attention to how different people speak, how different people move, just how they act. Everybody holds themselves differently, and studying how real life people do this that can be very helpful for your characters. And related to that, number 10, what characters don't say is nearly as important, if not more important. I guess it kind of depends on the character. I don't know. It certainly can be as important as what they do say. What they don't say can be as important as what they do say. I can't think of a good example for this off the top of my head, but like, you don't say everything you're thinking. Like, even if, like, what do you say to someone versus what do you think when you're saying it is kind of, that's like one thing. Ugh, this is coming out so eloquently. But contemplate that, like, what do they say versus what do they mean? What are they leaving out of the sentence? Now, this isn't going to come up in every situation, but it's something to contemplate. Oh, those are 10 tips. Let me know if these were helpful. Drop your own tips in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let me know if I should do this again. Thanks for watching. Bye.